What's up, Sneaky Nation? Sneaky P here, chilling on Madden 17, and I am getting ready to do my Week 1 predictions. People have been asking me to do a video like this for quite some time. I've never really gotten around to it, but I figured this year we are going to give it a chance. So I was trying to figure out the best way to make some predictions and stuff, and then I realized I could just force win games on Madden. And by doing so, what this allows me to do is pretty much add games up throughout the entire season, and then at the very end we will get to see just how wrong I was, because I'm bound to be wrong. I think most people are frequently when it comes to predictions. Nobody's going to be perfect, but this is going to be my new prediction series. So what I will do is I am going to force wins on the teams that I think will win, and then again we'll do this every single week if there's interest in it. If you guys don't care, I guess there wouldn't be much point, but I think it'll be a fun way to kind of see how right I am or how wrong I am, probably the latter there, and move on from there. So I don't know if I'm going to go super in-depth into any game. The ones that I might go a little more in-depth on are some of the games that I think would be a little bit closer, and so on and so forth. So tonight we have the Panthers taking on the Broncos, a rematch of the Super Bowl. And I am going to go with the Panthers here, despite them being on the road for this game. I think that they didn't lose as much. You know, the Broncos lost their two top quarterbacks from last season. And I know Trevor Siemian is still a pretty solid player. He's looked okay so far. But I don't think he's on the level of Manning and Osweiler, who even weren't that outstanding last year, to be honest. But even then, until Siemian proves otherwise, I think I'm going to have to go with the Panthers in this game. They're also getting Benjamin back, which should really help boost their team offensively, give Cam Newton another weapon to work with. So Packers and Jags, this one I got to go Packers. Jags, you know, they have some very nice young wide receivers, but Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers. And I think they're just going to be too much to handle offensively for the Jags defense to deal with. Bills and Ravens. This one's actually a pretty close game. The Ravens' record last year was kind of tarnished by a lot of injuries. You know, they're a healthier team this year, and they've definitely gotten a lot of really good players back. However, I'm feeling the Bills are going to win this one. I am. This is a game that really could go either way. The Ravens are at home, which definitely helps them out, but I think the Bills are going to take this one. The Bears and the Texans. This one I am going the Texans. Their defense is outstanding. Jay Cutler can be very inconsistent offensively, and if they start getting pressure on Cutler, that could force them into some mistakes. And the Texans are at home as well, so I'm going to go ahead and take them. The Browns and the Eagles. I don't know how often I'm going to predict the Eagles to win this year, but this is going to be one of those games. The talent levels are not too far off. You know, the Browns and the Eagles both project to be some of the worst teams in the NFL, but the Eagles are at home. They do still have a pretty solid defense. The Browns have a lot of question marks. They could turn it around. You could see Robert Griffin come out and have an outstanding game with the receivers. I don't know, but I'm going to go Eagles on this one. The Bucks and the Falcons. This is another interesting one. The Falcons typically have a better team, but I'm kind of wondering, what if Jameis Winston takes the next step? You know, he's got some weapons to work with there, but there are still some question marks as well. I am thinking of going with an upset here, somewhat of an upset, I guess, and going with the Bucks, actually. It's a tough game. It could go either way. A lot of these games could go either way. Even the ones that I guess any game technically could go either way, but this is a much closer one for me. I feel like I'm going with the Bucks as kind of an upset pick, but we'll see how that plays out. The Vikings and the Titans. You know, despite the Vikings not starting Sam Bradford this week, from what I understand, it's probably going to be Sean Hill. I still think they win this game. Their defense is too good. Their running game is too good, and I don't know that the Titans are going to have an answer for that. The Bengals and the Jets. This is another game that could go either way. You know, the Jets have pretty good players on defense. the Bengals have some health issues at the moment. They are also going to be on the road for this game, but I'm going to go ahead and take the Cincinnati Bengals. The Raiders and the Saints. This is another one of those games. Could go either way here. You know what? I think the Raiders are a better team than the Saints, but I'm going to go ahead and pick the Saints here. They have home field advantage. Drew Brees is still Drew Brees. The Raiders did a lot to improve their defense. Maybe, you know, again, I do think the Raiders are a better team, but I don't necessarily think the better teams are going to win every single time they're favored. That's not really how the NFL works. I could see the Saints pulling this one out. Should be a close game either way. The Chargers and the Chiefs. Going to go with the Chiefs here. Going to go ahead and take the Chiefs on this one. I think they are the better team. Their defense is solid despite losing some players. And, you know, the Chargers have a lot of question marks right now. The Dolphins and the Seahawks, this one, Seahawks, just, I don't know that this one's going to be entirely close. Seahawks at home are tough anyway, and they're much more talented. The Lions and the Colts. Do you think that the Colts are going to get their act together from last year's showing? I don't know. But I do think they are good enough to beat this Lions team. And them, again, being at home, I'm going to give this one to the Colts. The Giants and the Cowboys. This one's kind of tough for me. I do think the Cowboys might be the better team. Even with Romo out, you know, that offensive line and Ezekiel Elliott is going to be a force to be reckoned with. But I'm wondering, you know, despite how good Prescott looked in the preseason, teams play vanilla in the preseason. I don't know that he's really seen a lot of interesting schemes and such on defense just yet. I am going to take experience with Eli here. Never thought I would say that in my life. I'm going to go ahead and take Eli Manning and the Giants in this one. Ultimately, I do think the Cowboys might be a better team. But for now, in this game, I'm going to take the Giants. The Patriots and the Cardinals, got to go with the Cardinals. They're at home. They're a very, very good team with a very good defense. And it's Garoppolo's first week starting. We'll see how it goes. But I'm going to go ahead and give this to the Cardinals. Wait, maybe he started a gimme game last year. I don't know. But I'm going to go ahead and say Cardinals on this one. The Steelers and the Redskins. We are going to go Steelers here. The Redskins, though, are a team I think a lot of people are sleeping on. Now, I don't really think that they are going to make noise in the playoffs, but I do think they could very easily win the division, even if I think they'll probably lose in the wild card round. We'll see. But I am going to take the Steelers in this game. Rams and 49ers. You know, people are going to call me a homer, but I think the Niners take this one. I don't think the Niners are going to have a good season. I'm expecting 3-4 wins tops. But they've got to get those wins somewhere, and this is kind of a perfect opportunity for them to do so. Remember, they did go out last year and look really good in week 1 against the Vikings. Not to mention, that team was not near as good as the Niners are now. But our schedule's very difficult this season. I do think our offensive line is greatly improved. Our defense is greatly improved. It's going to be interesting to see if the Niners can stop Gurley. That's really what it's going to come down to. Neither team has a great passing attack. It's really going to depend on the run game and the defense, both of which do favor the Rams. I just think somehow the Niners find a way to squeak this one out. All these predictions, just my opinion. I'm not saying, you know, I'm 100% right. I'm just for fun, guys. I know some people are going to get super offended just because I know how YouTube works. Why didn't you pick my team? You're an idiot. I'm not going to be able to make everybody happy with predictions. But people have been asking me to do something like this. So what we will do is we will advance the week. I will save this. Then next week we'll come out and make predictions the same way we did this week. And kind of see how I do throughout the season as stuff stacks up. Hopefully you guys can enjoy something like this. I think it's something interesting to add to the channel. I don't know. Thank you guys so much for your support. Good luck to your team this week. Hopefully nobody gets injured. Obviously, that's probably not going to happen. People are going to get injured. But hopefully it's nothing too serious, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Later!